Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tonight, we'll take a quiet journey through one of the most iconic Pokémon in the entire franchise, Charizard. A Pokémon connected to nostalgia, powerful battles, and some of the most unforgettable moments in Pokémon history. But there's nothing to chase right now, nothing to rush. Just simple, calming facts meant to help you unwind, relax, and let your thoughts drift. Before we begin, if you enjoy peaceful videos like this, feel free to subscribe. We're getting close to our next milestone, and every new subscriber genuinely helps the channel grow. So take a breath, get comfortable, let your body sink deeper into rest, and allow your mind to soften. No expectations, no pressure, just quiet curiosity. And now we begin. One gentle Charizard fact at a time. Charizard first appeared in Pokémon Red and Blue in 1996 as the final evolution of Charmander. For many players, this was their first experience raising a starter Pokémon from a tiny ember into a powerful, confident creature capable of flight and fiery attacks. That slow journey from Charmander to Charmeleon and finally to Charizard became one of the most memorable parts of the early Pokémon experience. The moment Charizard appeared on screen for the first time felt like a reward, proof of patience, dedication, and growth. Over time, Charizard became more than just a Pokémon. It became a symbol of nostalgia, a reminder of childhood discovery, and one of the most recognizable faces of the entire franchise. Despite looking like a traditional Western dragon, Charizard's original typing isn't dragon at all. Instead, it's assigned fire and flying types. This detail has always surprised new fans, because Charizard features all the visual traits commonly associated with dragons: wings, scales, claws, a powerful tail flame, and a commanding posture. Some players found this typing unusual, while others embraced it as part of Charizard's unique identity. The decision reflects early game balancing, when dragon typing was extremely limited and surprisingly powerful. Over time, this unusual typing became part of Charizard's legacy, making it memorable not just for its appearance, but for the quirky decisions that shaped the early games. Charizard's original Japanese name is Lizardon, a name that blends the English word lizard with a more dramatic, intimidating tone. Many early Pokémon names in Japan used simple inspiration, taking recognizable animals and enhancing them slightly to create something familiar yet powerful. Lizardon carries a sense of ancient strength, as if the name echoes from a time of dragons and legends. When the games were localized, the name Charizard was chosen, combining charcoal and lizard. Even though the names differ, both versions carry the same fiery mythical energy. For longtime fans, both names represent the same iconic Pokémon that has spanned generations. In every generation and every regional Pokédex, Charizard is consistently listed under the same classification, the Flame Pokémon. This title reflects not only the fire burning at the tip of its tail, but also the fiery spirit and determination often associated with Charizard in the anime and games. The word flame suggests intensity, strength, and a sense of living heat, all traits closely tied to Charizard's identity. Whether encountered in battles, research entries, or storylines, this classification reminds players that Charizard isn't just a fire-type creature, but a symbol of controlled power, passion, and natural force. Charizard's flame isn't just a visual detail, It's often described as a direct expression of its energy, emotions, and physical condition. In many Pokédex entries, the flame burns brighter and hotter when Charizard is motivated, angry, or excited. The fire can flicker gently when Charizard is calm or resting. This connection between inner emotion and external flame has made Charizard feel alive in a way few Pokémon do. Fans often interpret the flame as a beating heart, glowing brighter with every battle, every challenge, and every moment of determination. Multiple Pokédex descriptions suggest that Charizard rarely attacks weaker opponents. Instead, it prefers fair challenges and meaningful battles. This detail paints Charizard not as reckless or destructive, but as a proud and honorable fighter. It chooses battles based on strength, not convenience. The idea that Charizard holds restraint, despite its fiery power, adds depth to its personality. This trait becomes especially meaningful in the anime, where Charizard's confidence and independence sometimes lead to dramatic moments, but also reveal a strong moral code. Mega Charizard X represents one of the most dramatic transformations in Charizard's history. When a Charizard undergoes this evolution, its typing shifts to Fire and Dragon, finally aligning its classification with its appearance. Its body becomes darker, flames shift to an intense blue, and its frame looks more powerful and rugged. Mega Charizard X feels ancient and primal, as if it carries a deep connection to forgotten dragon legends. For many players, this form finally answers a long-standing desire to see Charizard become a true dragon-type Pokémon. Mega Charizard Y takes Charizard's original design and elevates it into a more refined and specialized version of itself. Instead of changing typing, it keeps its fire and flying identity, but dramatically increases its offensive potential. Its wings grow larger and more aerodynamic, and its movements become sharper, faster, and more precise. Mega Charizard Y thrives in strategic battles where accuracy, power, and positioning matter. It represents Charizard's natural form taken to its highest possible performance, elegant, fiery, and devastating in battle. Charizard is one of the rare Pokémon that received not just one, but two unique Mega Evolution forms. This distinction reflects its popularity and symbolic status within the Pokémon universe. While many Pokémon gained Mega forms, only a select few were given multiple options, and Charizard stands proudly among them. This dual evolution system allows players to choose how they wish to express Charizard's identity, through raw draconic power or refined fiery control. It gives Charizard flexibility and depth in both competitive play and visual expression. Charizard also has a Gigantamax form, introduced in Pokémon Sword and Shield. In this towering transformation, Charizard becomes massive, with glowing magma-like patterns across its body and fiery wings that resemble burning embers drifting through the sky. This form emphasizes spectacle, scale, and awe, turning Charizard into a living volcano of flame and light. Gigantamax. Charizard feels legendary, as if it embodies the very core of fire itself. It stands as one of the most visually striking forms Charizard has ever received, further solidifying its legacy in Pokémon history. Gigantamax Charizard features a body marked with glowing magma-like patterns, almost as if molten lava flows just beneath its scales. Its wings transform into massive, burning shapes that resemble roaring fire rather than feathers or skin. This form isn't just stronger, it feels mythical, ancient, and almost elemental. Gigantamax Charizard looks like a creature pulled from legends, feared and respected throughout history. The swirling flames, radiant patterns, and expanded size give it an unmatched presence during battle. When it appears, it feels less like a Pokémon and more like a living force of nature. For many fans, this is one of Charizard's most breathtaking forms. Ash Ketchum's Charizard quickly became one of the most iconic Pokémon in the anime, known not just for its strength, but also for its bold personality. From the very beginning, this Charizard stood out, stubborn, proud, and often refusing commands, unless it believed the battle was worthy of its ability. Over time, their relationship shifted from frustration to deep respect. Fans watched Charizard grow, bond, and evolve, not just physically, but emotionally. Its fiery attitude made it memorable, and its later loyalty made it loved. Even today, Ash's Charizard remains one of the most recognizable and unforgettable Pokémon in the entire series. In one emotional moment from the anime, Ash chose to release Charizard to train at the Cherisific Valley, a place where only the strongest Charizard are accepted. This decision wasn't a goodbye, but a step toward allowing Charizard to grow even stronger. The valley challenged it, tested it, and eventually shaped it into a disciplined and incredibly powerful Pokémon. That moment showed Ash's maturity and respect for Charizard's potential. It wasn't about ownership, but trust. Over time, Charizard returned, stronger than ever, and the bond between them became even deeper. This storyline remains a fan favorite because it showed growth, respect, and connection. Charizard can learn both Flamethrower and Fire Blast, two of the most recognizable and iconic fire-type moves in the entire franchise. Flamethrower is often portrayed as controlled and precise, a stream of focused fire that Charizard directs at its target. Fire Blast, on the other hand, is more intense, powerful, and dramatic, often exploding in the shape of a blazing kanji-like symbol. These moves define Charizard's identity, showcasing its mastery of fire in both accuracy and raw strength. Whether in games, the anime, or the trading card series, these attacks have become signatures closely associated with Charizard's fiery nature. Charizard has appeared in every mainline Pokémon game since Generation 1, making it one of the most consistently returning Pokémon in the franchise. Whether as a starter choice, a wild encounter, a trade option, or a post-game reward, Charizard finds its way into nearly every generation. This ongoing presence reflects its role as a fan favorite, a Pokémon players look forward to encountering again and again. Over time, its stats, moves, and abilities have evolved, adapting to new mechanics, strategies, and formats. Yet despite all these changes, Charizard remains a constant, a familiar face in every new adventure. According to battle lore and Pokédex descriptions, Charizard's fire is so powerful that it can melt boulders with a single breath. These descriptions paint Charizard not only as strong, but terrifyingly capable. Its flames aren't just hot, they're intense enough to reshape the environment. These details add mythical depth to Charizard's identity, almost treating it as a creature from ancient legends rather than a simple Pokémon. The idea that its breath can break stone and melt rock captures the imagination and reminds players that Charizard embodies raw, untamed fire at its peak. Charizard isn't just a grounded powerhouse. It can fly at incredibly high altitudes. Pokédex entries describe Charizard soaring high above the clouds, sometimes flying higher than mountain peaks. This ability adds a sense of freedom and majesty to its design. Charizard feels like a creature built not only for battle, but for exploration, wind, and sky. The image of Charizard gliding through the air, wings outstretched and tail flame trailing behind, creates a calm and awe-inspiring picture. It represents both strength and freedom, a balance of fire and flight. Among all starter final evolutions across generations, Charizard continues to stand as one of the most popular and beloved. Many players remember choosing Charmander as their first Pokémon and watching it grow throughout their earliest journeys. For others, Charizard represents childhood excitement, rare trading cards, and unforgettable battles. Its design strikes a balance between fierce and familiar, dragon-like, yet approachable across countless polls, discussions, and rankings. Charizard remains consistently at the top. Its popularity has endured not because of hype alone, but because of nostalgia, memorable battles, and a design that continues to captivate fans. Charizard's popularity has led to its appearance on multiple game covers, promotional images, and expansion artwork. Seeing Charizard featured on a box often signals something powerful, important, or nostalgic. These covers helped cement Charizard as a mascot beyond just the original games. From main series titles to special releases and even trading card expansions, Charizard's presence instantly grabs attention. The use of Charizard in marketing reflects how strongly players connect with it and how confidently the Pokémon Company features it as a symbol of the brand. Charizard was selected as one of the Pokémon included in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, further solidifying its status as a fan favorite. Its moveset was built around the combination of flight and fire, giving Smash players a chance to experience its power in a new format. Whether soaring across the arena or launching flames at opponents, Charizard brought its fiery personality into an entirely new game genre. This appearance expanded its legacy beyond Pokémon alone, reaching fans of competitive fighting games and broader Nintendo communities. Across different Pokémon games, Charizard's roar has evolved alongside improvements in audio technology and design. In the original Game Boy games, its cry was short, sharp, and somewhat mechanical, a simple sound built from limited audio channels. But as consoles grew more powerful, Charizard's roar became deeper, fuller, and more expressive. In later generations, its voice took on a tone that felt closer to what fans imagined, something fierce, fiery, and unmistakably draconic. These shifting sound effects helped Charizard feel alive as the series grew, reminding players that even familiar Pokémon continue to grow and evolve alongside the technology that presents them. According to official Pokédex measurements, Charizard stands at 5 feet 7 inches tall, or about 1.7 meters. Many fans imagine Charizard towering overhead, but this more modest height adds an interesting contrast to its fierce reputation. It makes Charizard feel more realistic and approachable, like a powerful companion rather than an enormous mythical beast. Despite its size, Charizard's presence in battle, animation, and art often feels larger than life, proof that personality and design can make something feel enormous, even when the numbers say otherwise. This mix of scale, familiarity, and imagination adds to Charizard's lasting charm. Even though Charizard looks large and muscular, its official weight is surprisingly moderate, 199 pounds, or about 90.5 kilograms. This lighter weight may reflect its ability to fly, suggesting hollow bones or aerodynamic anatomy similar to real-world flying creatures. The balance between size, power, and agility is part of what makes Charizard feel believable. It isn't just heavy and strong, it's flexible, fast, and capable of soaring through the sky. These details remind us that Charizard isn't meant to be grounded or lumbering. It's designed as a creature of movement, flame, and flight. Charizard has a hidden ability called Solar Power, which activates under strong sunlight. This ability boosts its special attack stat, allowing Charizard to deal significantly more damage. However, the ability also drains Charizard's health over time while it remains active. This creates a fascinating balance, increased destructive capability, but at a personal cost. Solar Power feels fitting for Charizard, powerful, bright, intense, and slightly dangerous, like playing with fire. Players who understand the mechanic can use it strategically, turning Charizard into a fierce and overwhelming force during sunny battles. Solar Power's mechanics make Charizard even more threatening in battles where sunlight is active. The ability dramatically increases the damage potential of Charizard's fire type and special attack moves, making Flamethrower, Overheat, or Fire Blast significantly more dangerous. At the same time, Charizard steadily loses health, adding tension and urgency to every turn. This creates battles where every decision matters. Do you go all in on high damage attacks or carefully manage timing and pacing? The ability reflects Charizard's fiery personality, intense, powerful, and willing to burn bright even if it means burning fast. Charizard's standard ability is Blaze, a classic trait shared by many fire-type starters. When Charizard's health drops to low levels, Blaze activates and powers up its fire-type's moves. This ability feels thematic, as if Charizard's flame never weakens under pressure. Instead, it ignites stronger, fueled by determination or passion. Blaze has helped many players in close battles where a final boosted flamethrower or fire blast turned defeat into victory. Whether in early game battles or competitive matches, Blaze reminds players that sometimes strength reveals itself most clearly when pushed to the edge. Charizard can learn Dragon Claw, a move that hints at its draconic appearance and spirit. Even though Charizard isn't originally a Dragon-type Pokémon, the ability to learn Dragon-type moves has always bridged that gap between design and classification. Dragon Claw gives Charizard valuable coverage in battles, allowing it to face Dragon-type opponents more effectively. Beyond mechanics, the move reinforces Charizard's identity, not just a fire-breathing creature, but a Pokémon shaped by mythic dragon influence, strong, agile, and proud. In Generation 1, Charizard had an interesting mechanic. Because it was a flying-type Pokémon, ground-type moves couldn't hit it. Even attacks like Earthquake had no effect. This immunity became one of Charizard's most defining strategic advantages early in the series. Players who learned this interaction often relied on it to bypass tough battles or tricky opponents over time. Mechanics evolved and became more complex, but this early immunity remains part of Charizard's nostalgic identity in competitive and casual play. It's a reminder of how simple interactions once shaped entire strategies. Charizard became usable as a mount in several later Pokémon games, including Pokémon X and Y and Pokémon Legends, Arceus. Being able to ride Charizard transformed it from a battle partner into a true adventure companion. Whether flying high above regions, crossing large distances, or exploring remote areas, traveling with Charizard added emotional depth to the experience. Players could feel as if they weren't just training Charizard, they were journeying with it. This mechanic helped strengthen the bond between character and Pokémon in a meaningful way. Charizard also appeared in the Pokémon Mystery Dungeon series, sometimes as a recruitable Pokémon and other times as a boss. In those games, Charizard was portrayed as strong, confident, and sometimes protective. Seeing Charizard interact with other Pokémon instead of human trainers added new dimension to its character. Whether fighting alongside you or standing as a powerful opponent, Charizard felt important, a Pokémon with presence, history, and respect. Even in a world without trainers, Charizard remained a creature defined by strength and fiery resolve. Charizard's shiny form replaces its usual orange coloring with a striking black and red color scheme. This dramatic shift makes the shiny version immediately recognizable and visually powerful. The black body gives it the appearance of a darker, more intense version of itself, while the red wings add contrast that makes the design stand out. Unlike some shiny Pokémon with subtle changes, Charizard's shiny form feels bold and deliberate, almost like a parallel personality. The design evokes mystery, strength, and controlled danger, reinforcing Charizard's fiery identity. Many players see this shiny variation not just as a color swap, but as an alternate version of Charizard's spirit. It remains one of the most memorable, shiny designs ever created. Because of its bold appearance and rarity, shiny Charizard became one of the most desirable shiny Pokémon in the entire franchise. Players across generations have hunted for it through random encounters, eggs, raids, events, or trading, all hoping for that moment when a dark-winged Charizard finally appears. In Pokémon Go, the excitement was especially high during Community Day events, when shiny rates were temporarily increased. The thrill of seeing a black Charmander or Charmeleon evolve into shiny Charizard created unforgettable moments. For many collectors, obtaining a shiny Charizard feels like a milestone, a badge of patience, persistence, and luck. Charizard's overall design draws inspiration from traditional Western dragon imagery: powerful wings, claws, horns, and a flame-tipped tail, yet the details were simplified for early sprite-based hardware. Designers needed a balance between something iconic and something that could be rendered clearly with limited pixels. As a result, Charizard's form is clean and recognizable even in low resolution. Despite the simplicity, the design maintained a sense of power and personality. As the series evolved, 3D modeling and higher resolution artwork enhanced Charizard's details, but the foundation remained the same: a fiery, dragon-like creature built from clear, timeless shapes. In the earliest sprite artwork, Charizard's wings appeared noticeably smaller than in later designs. This was partly due to technical limitations. Early hardware made large wingspans difficult to animate, and partly due to the style of early Pokémon art, which often exaggerated key features while simplifying others. Over time, as graphical capabilities improved, Charizard's wings grew larger and more proportionate. The expanded wings gave it a stronger sense of scale, power, and flight ability. Watching the evolution of Charizard's design across generations highlights how technology and artistic direction gradually shaped the Pokémon fans recognize today. Charizard has been part of Pokémon Go since the game's early release in 2016. players around the world chased Charmander spawns, gathered candy, and evolved their first Charizard, often during community events or through rare encounters. Over the years, Mega Evolution, shiny availability, and event bonuses made Charizard increasingly relevant in Pokemon Go's ecosystem. Whether used in raids, battles, or collections, Charizard remains one of the most celebrated and sought-after Pokemon in the mobile game. For many Geo players, their first Charizard remains a memorable milestone tied to exploration, excitement, and discovery. Mega Charizard X was introduced as a version-exclusive Mega Evolution in Pokémon X. This form dramatically changed Charizard's appearance, transforming its flame from orange to blue and altering its color palette to deep blacks and bright highlights. The typing shift to Fire and Dragon finally aligned Charizard with its visually draconic nature, resolving a long-standing fan wish. Mega Charizard X feels powerful, intense, and primal, like a creature rising directly from Dragon Legends. It became a favorite among competitive players and fans who wanted a darker, more ferocious interpretation of Charizard. Mega Charizard Y was exclusive to Pokemon Ys and focused on enhancing Charizard's existing strengths rather than redefining them. The form retains the fire and flying typing, but increases offensive power, speed, and precision. Mega Charizard Y's design features larger wings, sleeker details, and an appearance that suggests control, grace, and refined power rather than raw aggression. In competitive play, this form became known for devastating fire-type attacks, especially under sunny weather conditions. Mega Charizard WoWs feels like the perfected version of the original design, elegant, powerful, and unmistakably Charizard. Throughout the franchise, Charizard developed connections to several well-known trainers, including Ash, Red, Alain, and later Leon from Pokemon Sword and Shield. These associations helped strengthen Charizard's role as a symbol of strength and leadership. Each trainer portrayed a different relationship with Charizard, from Ash's emotional bond to Alan's ambition and Leon's mastery. These stories showed Charizard as a partner capable of growth, loyalty, and intense power. The character became more than a battle companion. It became a narrative presence woven into Pokemon history. Leon's Charizard stands out as one of the strongest non-player character Pokemon in the series. Throughout the Galar storyline, Charizard serves as a symbol of Leon's skill, confidence, and reputation, as the undefeated champion battles against Leon often feel difficult and intense, with Charizard acting as his final and strongest Pokemon. Seeing Charizard Gigantamax during these encounters creates memorable moments of scale and excitement. Leon's bond with Charizard reflects mastery, a trainer and Pokemon who elevate each other to legendary status. Charizard's G-Max Wildfire move is unique to its Gigantamax form and deals ongoing damage over several turns. This move creates an intense battlefield effect that feels like a spreading inferno, slowly overwhelming the opponent's team. Instead of ending instantly, the attack continues burning after the initial strike, symbolizing Charizard's relentless and powerful flame. This mechanic makes Gigantamax Charizard not only visually impressive, but strategically dangerous. G-Max Wildfire feels less like a single attack and more like a living blaze, one that continues burning long after the flames first appear. Charizard has appeared in many promotional Pokemon trading card game releases over the years, often tied to anniversaries, special events, or exclusive collections. These promo cards helped solidify Charizard as more than just a strong Pokémon. They made it a collectible icon. Sometimes the artwork focused on fierce battle poses, while other versions highlighted Charizard in softer, more stylized designs. Because promotional cards are often printed in smaller quantities or tied to limited events, they quickly become desirable among collectors. For many fans, owning even one Charizard promo card feels special, like holding a unique piece of Pokemon history. Each release adds to Charizard's long legacy within the trading card world. One of the most famous cards in history is the holographic Charizard from the 1999 Pokemon trading card game base set. For many children growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, this card became the ultimate treasure, a symbol of playground status and collecting success. The shimmering holofoil background and bold, powerful artwork made it instantly recognizable. Over time, as unopened cards became harder to find and many copies were damaged through play, surviving well-preserved versions grew increasingly rare. Today, that original holographic Charizard is seen not just as a card, but as one of the most iconic pieces in TCG history. The first edition base set Charizard has reached legendary status, especially when professionally graded in high condition. Some copies have sold for over $300,000 due to their rarity, condition, and historical value. Collectors view this card as the crown jewel of Pokemon TCG collecting, representing a perfect blend of nostalgia, scarcity, and cultural significance. Prices continue to fluctuate over time, but the reputation of this card remains unchanged. It represents the beginning of a collecting era and stands as one of the most desirable trading cards ever printed. Throughout the Pokemon trading card game's lifespan, Charizard has appeared in over 60 different card artworks, each one offering a slightly different interpretation of the flame Pokemon. Some depict Charizard mid-flight, others breathing fire, and a few show quieter, more stylized moments. The variety of art styles highlights the character's versatility and enduring appeal. For collectors, seeing how Charizard's image evolves across eras feels like watching a visual timeline, showing how both artwork styles and Pokemon culture have changed over the decades. Each new card continues the legacy. The original Charizard card artwork from the base set was created by illustrator Mitsuhiro Arita. His design became iconic, instantly recognizable to millions of fans around the world. The pose, wings spread, mouth open in a powerful roar, captured Charizard's strength and attitude perfectly. Arita's work helped define the look and tone of early Pokemon cards and set a visual standard that influenced the future of the TCGs. Even today, fans still regard the original Charizard illustration as one of the most memorable designs ever printed. Charizard eventually became a recognizable Pokemon mascot alongside Pikachu, appearing on merchandise, promotional materials, posters, and game covers. While Pikachu represents a friendly, welcoming image of Pokemon, Charizard brings fire, power, and excitement. Together, they form a balance between approachability and intensity, two sides of the Pokemon experience. Seeing Charizard featured in marketing or official artwork almost always signals something special or nostalgic. Its presence alone evokes memories that is spanning multiple generations of fans. In Japan, Charizard-inspired merchandise ranges from plush toys to high-end statues and collectible figures. Some items are playful and soft, designed for younger fans, while others feature dramatic poses and detailed craftsmanship aimed at collectors' limited edition releases, often sell out quickly, and certain figures become rare and valuable over time. This wide range of merchandise reflects Charizard's ability to appeal to both nostalgic adults and new fans alike, whether displayed on a shelf or hugged as a plush companion. Charizard remains present in everyday life for many enthusiasts. Charizard appeared in Pokémon Stadium with early 3D animations, giving fans a new way to experience the Pokémon outside of pixel art. Seeing Charizard move, flap its wings, and breathe fire in three-dimensional space felt groundbreaking at the time. Although the graphics were primitive compared to modern standards, the moment Charizard roared on screen made a lasting impression. It helped fans imagine Pokémon not just as sprites on a handheld screen, but as living beings with size, movement, and presence. With the transition into modern 3D games, Charizard's Gigantamax model introduced dynamic flame details never seen in earlier designs. The fire on its wings flickers like living embers, and the glowing magma patterns seem to pulse with heat. These details bring a dramatic sense of life and scale, making Charizard feel more like a legendary creature than ever before. The added textures, lighting effects, and animations make Gigantamax Charizard not just larger, but visually commanding. Throughout the anime, Charizard's fire attacks are often shown with explosive force and cinematic flair. Flames burst outward in sweeping arcs or concentrate into narrow blasts. Depending on mood and command, these visual choices help portray Charizard as a Pokémon with power that demands respect. The fire effects, bright, loud, and dramatic, highlight its identity as a creature fueled by passion and strength. Each scene featuring Charizard's fire reinforces the character's reputation across the franchise. Charizard played a major role during the Orange Islands arc of the anime, where its growth as a character truly began. During this storyline, Charizard wasn't just a powerful battle partner, it became central to the emotional heart of the series. Viewers watched Charizard take on stronger opponents, train with purpose, and deepen its connection with Ash. The battles felt meaningful, not just because of strength, but because of the personal journey behind them. For many fans, this era marked the moment Charizard shifted from being a stubborn Pokémon into a trusted ally and a core part of Ash's team. The Orange Islands arc helped shape Charizard's legacy and remains a beloved chapter in Pokémon history. In the early anime, Charizard gained popularity not only because of its power, but because of its rebellious and stubborn personality. Unlike many loyal Pokémon companions, Charizard often ignored Ash's commands, acting based on pride rather than obedience. This behavior added humor, tension, and unpredictability to battles, making Charizard feel more like a fully developed character rather than just a battle tool. The dynamic between Ash and Charizard highlighted themes of patience, respect, and mutual trust. Over time, this rebellious streak became part of what made Charizard memorable, relatable, and iconic. Charizard eventually became loyal to Ash after a dramatic storyline in which Ash risked everything to save it from freezing temperatures. This emotional turning point strengthened their bond and marked a shift in how Charizard behaved. From that moment forward, Charizard no longer saw Ash as just a trainer. It respected him as a partner. Fans still recall that moment as one of the most heartfelt scenes in the series, showing how care and compassion can transform stubbornness into loyalty. It remains a defining chapter of Charizard's character development. Charizard is not only a master of fire, its move pool also includes flying type attacks such as Fly, Air Slash, and Hurricane in later generations. These moves emphasize its aerial capabilities and highlight that Charizard isn't limited to ground-based combat. The combination of airborne agility and fiery offense gives it a multifaceted presence in battle. Whether soaring high above opponents or striking with precision, Charizard's flight-based moves help create the sense of a creature capable of both raw power and graceful aerial movement. Over time, Charizard's available moves expanded with each new Pokémon generation, reflecting its dual nature as both a fire breather and aerial predator. Early move lists were simple, but later additions included dragon, flying, fire, and even fighting type attacks. This growing move pool allowed Charizard to adapt to different strategies, roles, and play styles. The evolution of Charizard's possible moves mirrors its narrative growth, from a straightforward powerhouse to a versatile and strategic battler capable of learning and adapting across eras. Charizard was one of the earliest Pokémon intentionally designed for competitive viability. Its stats, typing, and move options gave players multiple strategic paths, making it flexible and engaging in battles. As the series evolved, Charizard continued receiving upgrades, abilities, and alternate forms that kept it relevant in modern gameplay. Mega Evolutions held items and weather-based abilities further expanded Charizard's competitive depth. Few Pokémon have maintained long-term competitive presence as consistently as Charizard, solidifying its role as a balance of nostalgia and practical utility. Many Pokémon fans choose Charmander as a starter because evolving into Charizard feels like a long-term reward. The journey from a small flame-tailed Pokémon into a soaring fire-breathing powerhouse creates a sense of progress. Each evolution step represents growth, dedication, and time spent together in battles. For many players, finally seeing Charizard emerge feels like an accomplishment, a meaningful milestone. This emotional payoff has made Charmander one of the most selected starters in Pokémon history. Charizard has appeared in multiple Pokémon movies, sometimes as a heroic partner and other times as a formidable opponent. Each appearance showcased different aspects of Charizard's personality, sometimes fierce and unstoppable, sometimes protective and loyal. Whether battling legendary Pokémon or supporting main characters, Charizard's presence always carried weight and intensity. These film appearances helped reinforce Charizard's status as not just a Pokémon, but a cinematic symbol of strength and emotion in the franchise. Charizard's cry has remained recognizable across games, anime, and promotional media. Even as technologies evolved, from digitized Game Boy sounds to fully animated roars, Charizard's voice held a familiar tone that fans instantly identify. The cry conveys power, heat, and confidence, simple yet unmistakable. It's one of the few Pokémon sounds that evokes nostalgia instantly, reminding players of first battles, early adventures, and the excitement of encountering Charizard for the first time. In competitive play, Charizard's role varies depending on the game era. In some generations, it excels as a fast physical sweeper. In others, Its best performance comes as a special attacker, using boosted fire moves. Weather mechanics, items, abilities, and form changes allow Charizard to fill different strategic roles. This adaptability makes Charizard appealing to a wide range of players, from casual fans to seasoned battlers, ensuring its enduring presence in competitive formats. Charizard frequently appears in promotional artwork for Pokémon events, celebrations, and anniversary releases. Its presence adds an immediate sense of excitement and nostalgia, signaling that something special is happening, whether featured on posters, banners, or digital announcements. Charizard often stands as a visual highlight. Fiery, bold, and unmistakable fans recognize it instantly, and its appearance often draws attention from both newer and longtime fans. Over the years, Charizard has become more than just a character used for advertising. It has become a symbol of the Pokémon brand's history, power, and emotional connection across generations. Charizard plush toys remain among the best-selling Pokémon plushes worldwide. Whether small keychain-sized versions or large collector editions, Charizard plushes appeal to all age groups. Children enjoy the soft, friendly version of the normally fierce Pokémon, while adult collectors often seek rare or limited edition variants. Some plushes include embroidered flames, detailed wings, or stylized designs that capture specific eras or forms. These plush toys reflect how Charizard straddles two identities: a powerful dragon-like fighter and a beloved comforting character tied to childhood memories. Charizard frequently appears in fan art and cosplay because of its dramatic design and cultural popularity. Artists depict Charizard in many different styles, sometimes fierce and intense, other times calm or cute. Cosplayers often enjoy the challenge of representing Charizard's wings, horns, and fiery aesthetic through creative costumes and props. This artistic appreciation highlights how Charizard has moved beyond the world of games and anime, becoming an iconic figure in fan communities. Its design inspires creativity, passion, and self-expression, keeping it alive far beyond official media. In many Pokémon fan polls, Charizard consistently ranks among the top 5 most beloved Pokémon of all time. Its popularity spans across regions, generations, and age groups, making it one of the few characters with nearly universal recognition. These polls often reveal a blend of nostalgia, admiration, and emotional attachment. Charizard is remembered not just as a strong Pokémon, but as a companion from childhood adventures and a symbol of growth. Its continued presence at the top of popularity lists reflects just how deeply Charizard resonates with fans around the world. Charizard has appeared in numerous Pokémon tournaments, sometimes as a featured competitor and other times as a promotional symbol. In competitive showcases and official events, Charizard often represents the excitement of strategic battles and memorable matchups. Its versatility in movesets, forms, and roles makes it a natural fit for competitive play. Even when not used for its power alone, its presence adds energy and spectacle to tournaments. For many spectators, seeing Charizard take the battlefield feels exciting, like witnessing a familiar and legendary warrior return. In the anime, Charizard is often depicted as proud, fiery, and eager for battle. This hunger for challenge gives it a commanding screen presence, whether it's seeking strong opponents or testing its own limits. Charizard's confidence sometimes borders on arrogance, But this trait adds depth to its personality and mirrors classic dragon archetypes. Its animated battles are often dramatic and expressive, filled with roaring flames and bold movements. These portrayals helped solidify Charizard's identity as not just powerful, but intense and driven. Charizard's tail flame symbolizes more than just fire. It is sometimes interpreted as a representation of its life force and emotional state. In various depictions, the flame flickers softly when Charizard is calm, flares when excited, and burns fiercely in moments of passion or challenge. This detail adds emotional storytelling without needing words, making Charizard feel alive in a way few fictional creatures do. Fans often view the flame as a window into Charizard's heart, bright, powerful, and always burning. Despite its strength and legendary status, Charizard can be stubborn, especially when underestimated or treated without respect. This trait has been explored in games, lore, and particularly the anime Charizard's prideful nature makes it selective about when and how it listens to commands. Yet this stubbornness isn't meant to be cruelty. It reflects independence, confidence, and a warrior spirit. When respected and understood, that stubbornness transforms into unwavering loyalty and fierce protectiveness, creating one of the most emotionally rich Pokémon personalities in the franchise. Charizard was one of the first Pokémon to receive alternate special forms beyond standard evolution, including its dual Mega Evolutions and eventually its Gigantamax form. These additions expanded Charizard's identity across different generations and gameplay styles. Each form reflects a unique interpretation of Charizard, one focusing on draconic power, another on aerial dominance, and another on overwhelming fiery spectacle. These evolving forms helped keep Charizard relevant in modern gameplay and firmly established it as a Pokémon worthy of continued development and legacy. Charizard is part of the original Kanto starter trio, alongside Blastoise and Venusaur, three Pokémon that helped shape the foundation of the entire franchise. Each one represents a different elemental path, but Charizard became the fiery symbol of adventure, excitement, and youthful ambition. Many players still remember choosing Charmander as their first partner, beginning a journey toward eventually raising Charizard. This trio remains one of the most iconic Pokémon groups, and Charizard stands proudly as a key piece of that legacy. Many players associate Charizard with childhood memories, especially those who started their Pokémon journey in the late 1990s or early 2000s. The process of raising a Charmander, watching it evolve, and eventually reaching Charizard created emotional milestones for many young trainers. Those early experiences, saving up Pokeballs, facing the Elite Four, or trading with friends at school, often form some of the strongest memories fans carry with them. Seeing Charizard today can bring back feelings of excitement, comfort, and nostalgia. For many people, Charizard isn't just a Pokémon, it is a reminder of simpler times, early gaming experiences, and the joy of discovering a world full of imagination. In Pokémon Legends on Arceus, Charizard does not appear, making the game one of the few modern titles without it. This absence surprised many players, especially because Charizard appears in so many other entries. Some saw its absence as refreshing, allowing other species to receive more attention. Others missed its presence, feeling as though something iconic was missing from the adventure. In a way, Charizard's absence highlighted how central it has become to the franchise, because when it isn't there, its absence is noticeable. Even outside the game, this sparked discussions and speculation, showing just how strongly fans feel connected to Charizard. During Pokemon's 25th anniversary celebration, Charizard played a major role in promotional material, merchandise, and card releases. Its presence reflected the significance of the milestone, honoring both longtime fans and the legacy of the original game's special edition cards, figures, and artwork frequently highlighted Charizard at the center of the celebration. These releases reminded fans how Charizard helped define the franchise over the decades, not just through power, but through familiarity and emotional impact. The anniversary campaign showcased Charizard as a symbol of history, growth, and enduring passion shared by millions of players around the world. Charizard has a playful rivalry with Dragonite within the fan community. Both Pokemon represent dragon-like power, yet their personalities, appearances, and roles differ dramatically. Charizard is fierce, sharp, and fiery, while Dragonite is rounder, softer, and gentle. Fans enjoy debating which one is stronger, more iconic, or more beloved. This light-hearted rivalry adds depth to community conversations and friendly competition. While the games don't explicitly define them as rivals, their contrasting designs and similar strengths make them natural counterparts in the minds of many trainers. While Charizard is incredibly popular, some fans consider it overrated simply because it receives so much attention. Each time a new game, mechanic, or feature appears, Charizard often receives a special form or spotlight. This recurring focus sometimes leads to playful debates, some celebrating Charizard's fame, others wishing for more balance with less represented Pokemon. Yet even within criticism, there is acknowledgement that Charizard holds cultural significance. Whether loved, debated, or questioned, Charizard remains deeply relevant, proof of its impact. Real-world Pokemon centers often feature Charizard banners, statues, and artwork. Some locations include large wall murals, life-sized models, or themed merchandise sections dedicated entirely to Charizard. These displays create a sense of excitement and connection for fans visiting in person. Seeing Charizard in physical spaces, not just on screens, reinforces its role as a cultural icon. For many visitors, taking photos with a Charizard statue feels like meeting an old friend. Charizard is often used to introduce major game features, such as Mega Evolution in Generation 6 and Gigantamax forms in Generation 8. Using Charizard as the representative for new mechanics shows how strongly it resonates with fans. When players see Charizard demonstrating new transformations or abilities, they immediately grasp the magnitude of the change. These introductions help players feel connected to the new feature through a familiar and trusted Pokemon. Charizard is capable of learning Thunder Punch, giving it unexpected electric-type coverage in certain battle formats. This move helps Charizard counter types that would normally resist its fire attacks, such as water or flying Pokemon. While not always part of its most competitive movesets, Thunder Punch adds strategic flexibility and highlights Charizard's adaptability. This move demonstrates that Charizard is not limited to fire and flight. It can evolve its approach based on need, environment, and opponent. According to some Pokédex entries, Charizard's wings are strong enough to lift heavy objects or carry trainers across long distances. This detail emphasizes Charizard's physical capability, not just as a fighter, but as a creature of strength and endurance. Combined with its speed and aerial maneuverability, these descriptions paint Charizard as a majestic and powerful creature built for the sky. The idea of soaring with Charizard sparks imagination and adventure in many fans. In certain official artwork and promotional materials, Charizard is depicted as a guardian figure, protective, steady, and vigilant. These portrayals show a softer dimension to Charizard's normally intense personality. Whether watching over smaller Pokémon, shielding its trainer, or standing firm in quiet confidence, this guardian imagery adds emotional depth. It portrays Charizard not just as a fighter, but as a protector, powerful yet compassionate. In early game sprites, Charizard's wings were slightly miscolored, appearing green or muted compared to later designs. These small inconsistencies were common during the early Game Boy era, when graphics were limited and palettes were restricted. Despite the imperfect color work, Charizard's silhouette remained unmistakable, even in low resolution. For many players, those imperfect sprites became nostalgic memories rather than flaws. They served as the first visual connection to a Pokémon that would grow into one of the most recognizable characters in the franchise. Today, those early sprite variations are often viewed fondly, reminding fans of how far Pokémon visuals have evolved over time. Charizard was heavily featured in early Pokémon television advertising campaigns. When Pokémon was introduced to international audiences, Charizard appeared in commercials, print ads, and animated trailers to capture attention and convey excitement. Its fiery attacks and strong silhouette made it the perfect promotional figure. For many children experiencing Pokémon for the first time, Charizard was one of the earliest images they saw, long before they knew its name or abilities. These early uses in marketing helped position Charizard as a face of the brand and contributed significantly to its widespread fame. Beyond Pokémon Go, Charizard has appeared in multiple mobile titles, ranging from puzzle games to spin-off battle apps. Whether breathing fire in Super Smash Bros. Style combat, appearing as a collectible mascot, or acting as a power-boosting unit, Charizard always stands out. These appearances helped keep Charizard relevant across different platforms and playstyles. Each game offered a new interpretation of Charizard's personality and strength, sometimes fierce, sometimes playful, always iconic. No matter the format, Charizard consistently remained a fan favorite, proving its appeal far beyond the main Pokémon series. Leon's Charizard from Pokémon Sword and Shield became one of the most iconic champion partner Pokémon ever featured in the series. Its presence in the storyline symbolized both Leon's strength and his bond with his Pokémon. Each time Charizard appeared in a cutscene or battle, it carried a sense of importance and excitement. The connection between Leon and Charizard was portrayed not just as trainer and Pokémon, but as trusted allies who had accomplished great challenges together. This pairing added to Charizard's already legendary status and introduced the Flame Pokémon to a new generation of fans. Charizard has appeared as a near-legendary threat in several cinematic cutscenes throughout different games. Moments where Charizard descends from above or unleashes powerful fire attacks create dramatic tension and memorable visuals. These scenes portray Charizard with a level of grandeur typically reserved for mythical or legendary Pokémon. Such depictions reinforce the idea that Charizard isn't simply strong in gameplay, it carries narrative weight and emotional significance. Players often remember these encounters long after completing the story. In some games, Charizard can be found roaming in the wild, though these encounters are rare. Finding a wild Charizard feels exciting, unexpected, and special. It can create a sense of discovery, as if the player stumbled upon something powerful and untamed. These moments offer an alternative to evolving a Charmander and allow players to meet Charizard as a creature existing naturally in the world. The rarity of these encounters adds to the thrill, making them memorable highlights in a playthrough. Charizard is a popular choice among speedrunners, especially in games where early access to powerful moves gives a significant advantage. Its strong stats and early fire-type coverage allow players to move quickly through major battles and story checkpoints. Speedrunners value consistency, and Charizard often provides reliable power without requiring complex strategies. This role showcases another dimension of Charizard's versatility, not just iconic in casual play, but genuinely practical in efficiency-focused runs. Among fans, Charizard is often jokingly called the unofficial dragon of Pokémon. Even though Charizard is not originally a dragon type, its appearance and battle style resemble traditional dragons from mythology. This nickname reflects a long-running community sentiment. Charizard feels like a dragon in spirit, even if its typing does not always confirm it. The joke became part of Charizard's personality and added an affectionate layer to its legacy. Charizard has influenced the design of several later Pokémon that incorporate dragon-like features and fiery themes. Its popularity set a template for powerful, winged creatures with a commanding presence. Designers often reference Charizard's balance between strength and approachability. This influence can be seen in future generations, Pokémon that share similar energy, posture, or emotional presence. Charizard's shiny black form became a signature style in fan merchandise. Clothing, accessories, and custom artwork often feature the sleek black color palette, which many fans see as bold and dramatic. This version resonates with players who enjoy a darker, edgier interpretation of the flame Pokémon. Over time, the shiny form became nearly as recognizable as the original coloring. In official Pokémon canon, the flame on Charizard's tail has never been shown extinguished. From early Pokédex entries to modern lore, the flame represents Charizard's life force, strength, and emotional energy. It flickers gently when Charizard is calm and burns fiercely during excitement or battle. The flame is iconic, one of the earliest and most recognizable design elements introduced in the series. Its constant presence serves as a reminder that Charizard is alive, powerful, and always burning with spirit. The fact that it has never gone out adds a quiet mystery to Charizard's character, one that feels ancient and symbolic. Charizard's model has evolved with each graphical generation, from early pixel sprites to fully animated 3D models. Over time, its wings became larger, its colors richer, and its movements more natural. Small details like flame animation, horn shape, and muscle definition improved with each release. These updates helped Charizard feel more realistic and more impactful on screen. Watching its appearance evolve is like viewing a digital history of Pokémon itself. The progression highlights how technology and artistry continue refining even the most familiar creatures, while still preserving the identity fans have loved from the beginning. Charizard continues to gain new moves with each major Pokémon release. Game mechanics change over time, introducing new types, abilities, and strategies, and Charizard often adapts with them, from powerful fire attacks to aerial maneuvers and dragon-inspired strikes. Each generation adds depth to Charizard's potential. This expanding move pool reinforces Charizard's versatility and shows how it remains relevant no matter how the battle system evolves. Watching Charizard learn new techniques feels like seeing the character grow, not just in power, but in possibility. In official Pokémon popularity polls around the world, Charizard consistently ranks near the top. Its presence reflects more than aesthetics. It represents emotional connection. Fans choose Charizard not just because it is strong, but because it feels meaningful. Its combination of power, design, nostalgia, and storytelling resonance makes it unforgettable. Whether in Japan, Europe, or the United States, Charizard's name repeatedly appears among beloved favorites, proving its global appeal across languages, cultures, and generations. During major Pokémon anniversaries and milestone celebrations, Charizard is frequently highlighted through special releases, exclusive artwork, and collectible merchandise. These appearances acknowledge Charizard's foundational role in the franchise. Each anniversary reminds fans of Charizard's longevity, how it has remained relevant from the earliest days of the Game Boy era to modern 3D titles. Its presence during celebrations communicates one message clearly. Charizard is not just a Pokémon, it is part of Pokémon's identity. Charizard often symbolizes strength, independence, and growth in Pokémon storytelling. Its stubbornness evolves into loyalty, its restless spirit becomes determination, and its fiery nature transforms into courage and leadership. These traits make Charizard feel human in a way, flawed, emotional, and growing alongside its trainer. In many stories, Charizard represents the journey from inexperience to mastery, reflecting both struggle and triumph. This emotional arc resonates deeply, giving Charizard a narrative weight few Pokémon share. For countless players, their journey with Pokémon began by choosing Charmander as their first starter. The excitement of raising it, training it, and watching it evolve into Charizard created unforgettable memories. That journey became a rite of passage, a bonding experience between player and Pokémon. Even years later, many remember that first Charizard as a symbol of their earliest victories and most meaningful adventures. Charizard remains one of the strongest symbols of Generation 1 nostalgia. Its presence instantly transports longtime fans back to early cartridge games, thick trading cards, and after-school battles with friends. Generation 1 shaped an era of imagination, and Charizard stood proudly at the center of it. Today, that connection still resonates, serving as a bridge between past memories and present experiences. Charizard's legacy continues to evolve with each new game, animated series, trading card set, and piece of merchandise. Rather than fading with time, Charizard grows more iconic, its image woven deeper into Pokémon culture year after year. Whether through new forms, battles, or stories, Charizard remains a living part of the franchise's future and its history. For many fans, Charizard represents more than a Pokémon. It symbolizes adventure, imagination, and the moment childhood curiosity transformed into something lasting. When people see Charizard today, they remember exploring virtual worlds, forming friendships over trades, and dreaming of impossible creatures brought to life. Charizard stays beloved because it represents a feeling, one that never fully fades.